Chairman, I'd like to call up the amendment that is numbered Cruz 1, and it is a border security amendment.
My amendment.
As I have expressed earlier today, as a number of people have expressed, one of my greatest concerns about this legislation as it's currently drafted is that its border security provisions are not meaningful, it relies upon the Department of Homeland Security applying amorphous metrics that gives the department enormous discretion determining if and when those metrics are met. And as a result, I think if Las Vegas odds makers were laying odds that of the probability of the Department of Homeland Security concluding at whatever time it came into effect that the border was secure under this current bill, the Las Vegas odds would be greater than 10,000 to 1. I think it is a virtual certainty because the bill does not have meaningful metrics that actually have bite. It doesn't have consequence. What this amendment attempts to do is approach the issue with the seriousness with which I think Americans would like us to approach it. And it has a number of elements. One is to focus in a very significant part on the inputs. Measuring outputs has proven difficult, but the inputs we certainly can measure. So what this bill would do is, first of all, triple the number of Border Patrol agents on the southern border. There are right now roughly 21,000. It would take it to over 60,000 Border Patrol agents on the ground. Boots on the ground, in my judgment, are the most effective method of securing the border. Additionally, this amendment would quadruple the cameras, the sensors, the drones, helicopters, and technology and infrastructure as appropriate on the border to actually accomplish the goal of securing the border. Right now, GAO estimates that we're apprehending roughly 60% of illegal border crossings, which means 40% are not being apprehended. And with boots on the ground, combined with technology, we can and should do much, much better. In addition, this amendment would require the completion of the U.S. visit system with biometric entry and exit. Now, that's been mandated in law, and yet the executive branch has not complied with that law and implemented that system, and that goes directly after the problem we know is quite significant of visa overstays. Roughly 40% of those here illegally are here illegally through visa overstays. And finally, it would require operational control over 100% of the southern border. Now, I would note current statute requires the Department of Homeland Security to measure operational control, and yet Secretary Napolitano came before this committee and told this committee that notwithstanding the law Congress had passed and the President had signed, DHS no longer even measures operational control, nonetheless endeavors to comply with this. And this requires that they, in fact, secure the border. The final piece of this is giving real teeth to all of these elements, because we have seen this problem over and over again, whether it is with respect to operational control or the U.S. visit system, of the administration ignoring requirements in statute. And what this does is it puts teeth to these requirements. In particular, if DHS fails to substantially comply with all of these trigger requirements within 3 years, the salary of DHS political appointees would be cut, and additionally, 20% of DHS's budget with respect to these border control provisions would be put in a block grant to the states to carry out these functions. So it puts a real incentive for DHS to follow the terms of the amendment. I think if this amendment were adopted, it would go a long, long way to solving the problem of illegal immigration and securing the border. And I think it would improve this bill in a very substantial respect.